Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Ugandan President Yoweri Museveni is now coming out clearly at the African Heads of State Summit by saying that there is no more taking of African resources and there is no growth in Africa and there should be no more exploitation of African resources. Yoweri Museveni said this at KICC in Nairobi, and according to my side, the significance of this speech is that now Yoweri Museveni wants African presidents or leaders to depend on themselves.
I banned this export of unprocessed minerals in 2012. My young brother, His Excellency Ruto, I forgave him and gave him some little iron ore for, I think, 2 or 3 years, because I've got a lot of iron ore, one of the best in the world.
Listen to Yoweri Museveni, ladies and gentlemen. I have confirmed and very much confidence by saying that Ugandan current president is still brilliant. And his words on saying or talking about African resources had been factors affecting African leadership. As the European countries, leaders describe Africa as a place of beautiful mineral resources to be mined and used as a sources of manufacturing goods for exportation. Now, on the African Head of State Summit, Yoweri Museveni stood and spoke and defended African resources. And that is whatever we want to discuss or come out with some of 1 or 2, 3 points on this significant speech of Museveni. But before I carry on, ladies and gentlemen, it is my hope and prayer that this analysis is going to find you well wherever you are. And if this might be your first time watching me at Zam Kenya TV YouTube channel, I request you kindly do me a favor, take a 1 second and click that subscriptions button and subscribe to our channel. After you subscribe, give this video a thumb of like, share and give us your opinion. Let's proceed. Yoweri's explosive speech at World Bank meeting admits to global shockwave. And believe me or not, Yoweri have officially opened a war with West African community. Speaking at KICC, Yoweri Museveni is now very clear and saying that African leaders must now remain independent. Resources that we get from Africa or Africa have is very much important and can enable them to sustain their economy. That is whatever Yoweri Museveni is trying to say. Furthermore, he carried on by saying that he banned the business deal which he was doing with Indians about resources exploitation or exportation. I believe you've listened to that clip I've just displayed, because that clip is what is going to form the basis of our analysis. With me on my side, the significant point of Yoweri Museveni is that, number one, Yoweri Museveni is now confirming to the West that he have officially banned the export of mineral resources. Number 2, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni is now telling other African leaders or president that you should now remain independent, focused on your own mineral resources than depending on other people's resources. Then number 3, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni is raising alarm to African president or leaders to wake up from their slumber, focused and deliver the promises to their people. But what worries me, ladies and gentlemen, is that as much as this president is very much brilliant, but why is Ugandan economy is unwanting in the society we are today? What might be the problem? And I realized that maybe the late Idi Amin Dada is the one who destroyed Uganda. I wish Museveni could be the president by that time. The truth of the matter is that Yoweri Kaguta Museveni is now confirming to the people in Africa that Africans have resources, and these resources are only being controlled by African head of state. They don't want other people to know, but they sell it to the West African community. Now is raising alarm and saying enough is enough for dictatorship to your people. By the way, places like Uganda have gold, Kenya have gold, if I'm not wrong. Several countries in Africa have gold. But have you ever asked yourself, hii gold wanaitoa na inapelekwa wapi? Does it add any benefits to the countries? Even crude oil, for instance, in Turkana, our country Kenya, hii crude oil inasaidia nchi namna gani? Badala kutegemea places like Euphrates, Iraq. You see, these are the factors affecting our country. The leaders that we have that authority to maintain our resources. The mineral resources that only Kenya have is enough to sustain us in economy. But why are we now suffering at this point? So Yoweri's speech, according to me, is very much essential, very much marvelous, and it should be digested to African leaders. I like how confident he is and speaking in front of the West African community. The truth of the matter is that for you to understand this, unajua au watu wanakujanga Africa kuchukua mineral resources, wanaenda kufanya nao vitu zao, then after that, if they have used it, then being returned to the country. Lakini hapa Kenya, Wakenya ndio are being imported or exported, whichever the case it is. Ndio walete tax, walipe ushuru. You even had just 2 months ago, we had President Ruto at Naivasha meeting, asking the cabinet and the MPs, ako wapi ya madaktari kwenye niliwatuma waende Germany. You see, but I again said, why don't he just create hospitals, training facility, and give it to Kenyans? So Museveni is just raising alarm and telling African president that enough is enough, and let us be brilliant enough to secure our resources, or else we are still going to be beggars till further notice, or till Jesus Christ comes back. Ladies and gentlemen, that is whatever Museveni said as African head of state summit. Allow me to end this analysis at this point, as I am eagerly waiting for your opinion at the comment section below. If this might insult you, if you are a supporter of Museveni, we request for forgiveness. If you are a supporter of any president in Africa, we also request for forgiveness if we've insulted anyone. But about insultment have not been done. We were just trying to clarify whatever Museveni is saying. Then lastly, Museveni is now in need of growth together in Africa. Let's wait if they are going to observe this and there will be growth, as he's saying that there is no growth in Africa. Let's hope our leaders are going to change and maintain this. My name is Charles. Meanwhile, drop your opinion on this analysis.